Today, we are at Yankee Harley Davidson / Livewire in Bristol, and we're taking the Livewire S2 Del Mar out for a ride. This bike has an 84 horsepower mid-drive motor that is belt drive to the rear wheel. It has a 10.5 kilowatt hour battery and 196 foot-pounds of torque. This thing is full suspension. As you can see, this linkage that goes through at the bottom down into here. The motor and controller are also liquid cooled, and those fins on the side are to air cool the battery. I can't describe you guys how excited I am to get onto this bike, so let's gear up and get it out on the road. Guess we'll start up the bike. So hop on.
So I would like for you to switch through the modes as you're going, just so you can experience the difference in the, the torque of the electric.
Yep. So I hit this.
I'll tell you what to do.
So we now have to lift up the kickstand, and then once we hit the start button, this is live. Awesome.
We're in road mode.
So we're in road mode. If we hit this, it'll go over to sport. Hit this, rain, back to eco, and then back to road mode. We're gonna start on road mode on this bike today. And she's gonna be showing us around because I'm not super familiar with Bristol. And it's helpful to have a guide.
Ready?
Yep, ready. I can already tell this thing is pretty silent. We have no clutch on this bike. We have a front brake on our right and a foot brake. Don't be expecting this to be like some crazy video. This is a dealership bike. This thing has 10 miles on it. This thing is 435 pounds. And it's got a 0 to 60 of like 3 seconds, which is immense. As you can kind of tell already, the torque on this is great. Keep in mind, my perspective is as someone who has put a couple thousand miles on bikes like a Sur and Talaria, not so much on regular gas motorcycles. So that's what I'm going to be comparing this to. This thing has way more power than something like my Talaria does. And you can really feel it. You can barely touch this throttle even on normal mode. And it accelerates quite quickly. We're getting waved on, which is why we're riding through red light. Never ride through red lights. It does have self-canceling turn signals. This thing rides super smooth down the road. Really does a pretty good job of absorbing any kind of bumps on the road. And it feels pretty nimble too. God, the power band on this thing is insane. I've barely gotten past basically a quarter throttle on normal riding. I could definitely see one of these in my garage in the future. This thing is really nice. You can really feel it's got a ton of power, but the delivery of it is super comfortable. Like we just jumped up from like 30 to 50 and just barely a touch of the wrist. Yeah, you can easily stand on this bike too. The foot pegs are basically right under the seat. Honestly, pretty similar to a dirt bike position, maybe just slightly farther back. You kind of have a little bit more of a lean forward riding position. At least that's what I find comfortable. I'm basically all the way forward on the seat. If you're a taller rider, I do have like another 2 inches that I can scooch back. The seat is pretty firm, but it is very comfortable. It's definitely nice and wide, so it makes it pretty... I don't think a lot of people are going to have problems with the seating position on this bike. Seems like it'd be pretty comfortable if you're taller or shorter. Maybe not a lot shorter, I'm 5'6", and I weigh 145 pounds, so my weight is not adding a lot to this thing. I really want one of these bikes. I haven't even opened it up yet, and it's just so fun. It definitely makes way less noise than my Talaria does. Yeah, just take a look at that throttle response. You touch it, and it will accelerate right away for you. Yeah, Alpha Line, this thing's insane. Yeah, this thing's got tons of torque. Again, we're in street mode, not even sport mode yet. It handles so nimbly too, like it feels so planted. Not like a Suron where as soon as you start hitting like 50 miles an hour, it's so light you get blown around. The 435 pounds of weight, you do not have that problem with this bike whatsoever. Tight turning radius. Grip a little bit on the throttle. No issues getting to 60. This thing's so fast. This thing makes the Alta Sigma feel slow. And if you like bikes like these, remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hopefully I can establish a good relationship with the Harley brand. Maybe I'll buy one of these in the future. Or maybe if they come out with a new model, I'd take a press bike Harley, if you're watching. I could definitely daily drive this thing though. Very satisfying to ride. So the range on this bike. This thing is supposed to do, I don't want to misquote, I'll actually just put up the range on the bike up on the screen. I do know that this is 84 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, so this thing is no slouch even when we're talking about like supercar levels. Top speed of 103 is not insane, don't get me wrong, but you're not really, I mean, you could take this thing on the highway and have no problems power-wise, but you're not going to be taking it because electric motorcycles just really aren't made for that. They're made for bursty, round town riding. You always are going to have range limitations with electric vehicles until we get to crazy recharge speeds, but that's not a problem with exclusively this bike. That's true of Surons, Solarias, anything that's electric, but that doesn't matter to me. I daily drive an electric vehicle because you have the convenience of plugging it in at home and waking up every day with a full tank, if that makes sense. And I want to give a huge shout out to Yankee Harley Davidson for giving me the opportunity to try out this bike. I told them exactly what I wanted to do and just give my experiences on it. And I am so grateful for them to allow me to try out this bike. Again, this thing's got 10 miles on it. It's a brand new bike. They're letting me put a few miles on it. That way you guys can see what one of these is really like. Having so much fun though. We are behaving ourselves. We started this ride at 64%. I'll let you guys know what we are at the end. We've dropped just a couple percentages so far. This is so good. It takes a little bit of time to rewire my brain for the foot brake instead of having it on your hand grip, but I like the position of the foot brake on this bike. It is slightly lower than the peg, which I find that with a lot of other motorcycles that I've tried. Not that I've tried a ton of them, but I find that a lot of them put the foot brake too high up, and I accidentally rest my foot and kind of activate it lightly while riding. Not really concerned at all with this one. This thing definitely does have some regen on the throttle. As you let off of it, it slows down. using a little bit of engine braking. This is basically like the perfect motorcycle, in my opinion. Yes, it does have limitations with range, but the whole package that you get with this thing is so refined. There's no other American companies. This is the first major American company that is putting out a bike like this. I mean, like, you think Harley, you think of big backers and choppers, you don't really think of performance bikes. But this thing has a ton of performance. Oh yeah, this thing's awesome. It's so fast. Really need to get it on a highway to open it up properly, but my heart's racing. You can just feel it. Like, I'm not in the top setting. I only really got into like half throttle. All right, we're gonna bump it up to sport mode. Following her lead. Let's see what the throttle control feels like. Yep, auto cancel. That's so nice. On my cheaper bike, I have to cancel it myself. And this thing looks freaking awesome. I don't remember if she got on a Del Mar or a Blue Holland, but both of these bikes are quite the lookers. I love the flat track look of this bike. My Talaria is never gonna feel fast again. I'll say, even in the sport mode, this thing's throttle control is very nice. It is a little bit more touchy in this mode, as it should be, but it feels like it gives you more regen, it gives you a little bit more throttle, but it's not jumpy. It feels very linear in the power band. It's so quiet. I literally can't hear anything from the bike over the wind noise. It does make just a very, very light hum, but there's no vibrations from the drive lane whatsoever. Going through these twisties feels fantastic. Oh, I need one of these in my garage. But that's where we gotta talk about the price point. I believe it is $16.50 for one of these, so we're talking about $2,000 more than a Stark Bard for 4 more horsepower, but don't discount the battery size. This thing has almost twice the size of the battery that the Bard does. So if you want to ride fast for longer periods of time, this is definitely a better option. No, it doesn't have the 1,000 foot-pounds of torque that a Stark has, but 300 is tons. Definitely no slouch. I mean, I don't know gas bikes all that well, but I'll leave a comparison up on the screen of what a gas bike that has 3 seconds is equivalent to in the gas world. This is a little bit rougher and a little bit sandier, but it's soaking it up perfectly fine. I think that if you were trying to rip a dirt trail on this bike, might not be as fun. But I think it would still do it. And again, standing to go over rougher terrain is very comfortable on this bike. It's basically no problem. Really like the seating position. I like how this is kind of cupped in where my legs are down here. because I'm not a big person, so it accommodates someone with a small frame like me. Yeah, I'm super impressed with this thing. This thing's awesome. And the low speed maneuverability feels super dialed. Wow. What an experience. That was super fun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for showing me
My pleasure.
around.
I wish I could do this all day, every day.
Hey, I'll come back every day.
The thing is you barely have to use any brakes because as soon as you let off the throttle,
regenerative
it slows you
braking.
right down again.
It's so smooth. Like, I bumped it up to the sport mode, and even in sport mode, like, the throttle is so smooth and like predictable. Like, it's never like jerky. It never wants to, like, even when I was putting the power down, like, you could feel it like lift a little bit, but it never felt like it wanted to power wheelie or anything.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, that was incredibly fun. I think my camera turned off to the last like 10%, but I'm pretty sure I got 90% of the ride.
After riding the Del Mar, I am in love with this bike. The build quality is absolutely excellent, and it has the performance to match. With that 10.5 kilowatt hour battery, you can ride long distances at high speeds with that 84 horsepower mid-drive motor. I am extremely tempted to buy one of these for my channel, so leave a comment down below if you'd like to see more content on the S2 Del Mar. I can't think of a better electric motorcycle for street riding. It's super easy to control and very comfortable, but it also has superbike levels of performance. But hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more bikes like this on my channel. Anyways, I'll catch you in the next video.